Hello and welcome to Live Your Dreams with Ebby Nights. And this show is about women empowerment, highlighting entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial women who are pursuing their goals and doing what they love to do, being able to share their experiences, the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, as well as their accomplishments along the way, and with the intention to empower other women who are looking to pursue their goals and or feel a little bit stuck in, going after their goals. So I'm so excited tonight about our wonderful guests. We have a motivational speaker, Alexis Terry, who's here.
Hello.
And then we have a wonderful, amazing doula from Long Island Doula Association who's here. So our show tonight is really, tonight we want to empower families, especially mothers, expecting mothers, women, men, and children. So we're going to be talking a lot about doulas, and as well as we're going to have a midwife on the show tonight. It's going to be really, really amazing. So would you like to share a little bit more about yourself, Alexis?
Well, I am a Christian motivational speaker. Mm-hmm. I have worked in the field of empowerment for almost 10 years, working with different clients and families. And I am now looking to branch out and explore different options and try to work with families and children's a little bit more broader and global, by really utilizing some Christian principles that I've learned over the years. I suffered some tremendous setbacks in my life, and I had to put into practice Christian principles that helped me get through and get over.
Real quick, what are some of the principles that would you like to share? Some of the principles?
Sure. First is trusting in God, absolutely. And believing that everything is working for your good, even when things seem like as though they're completely against you and the conditions are not favorable or just downright terrible. Just trusting and believing in God first. Secondly, just really giving yourself permission to be honest with your feelings. If you feel terrible, feel terrible.
Acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it. Absolutely. And then thirdly, which is really so important and dear to me, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Try to find something to just say, this is good. And I know it's sometimes very difficult at first when you haven't done it, but even if it's just saying, I'm thankful to be waking up this morning, find something. And then lastly, pursue your purpose, in which I'm just so thankful. Pursue your purpose and say yes to your call. You've been called to do something, so just say yes to it.
Right. I love it. Thank you, Alexis. I definitely appreciate that. So, pursuing your purpose, what does that mean to you? What would you say about that?
There is just something that is unique to you and your being, that you feel like you've been called to do. And everybody has been called to do something different. But each and every person and purpose fits in a grand scheme of life. And there is just something that you may have heard in your spirit that has just been nagging at you to do over and over and over again. And maybe you just got completely caught in the rigmarole of life, and you kind of say, well, I got to pay bills, so I can't focus on this right now. And so answering that call, whatever it is so essential to life.
So what would you say to women who really want to start pursuing their purpose, but they kind of feel stuck, or they feel like they can't do it, or they feel fearful? What would you recommend for that?
Well, in terms of fear, I tell people it's okay to have fear. It's okay to feel really incapable of doing something. Acknowledging it is so important to your destiny, because if you try to pretend as though there's just nothing that is bothering you, or there's nothing that you're afraid of, kind of set yourself up for failure. So what I tell people is be bold. And boldness actually taps into courage. And that courage is what empowers you to get up every morning when it seems like as though things are just not going in your favor. So being bold, being courageous is important. And then in terms of your purpose, make a list of all the things that you have to gain if you were to pursue your purpose. And you'll find at the top of the list is fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of people tend to miss out on when we focus on our occupations.
So why are people not pursuing their goals? Do you feel like they don't know? They don't know what their purpose is? And would you say a lot of people do not know what their purpose is?
I say that people a lot of times are fearful of investigating what their purpose is, because we have been taught and conditioned to fit into one particular space in life. I mean, purpose is completely out of the ordinary, because sometimes pursuing your purpose means leaving your job, moving to another town. And so pursuing your purpose means sometimes just going against the grain, going against what's normal, and pursuing something that is completely unfamiliar. So sometimes you don't know what your purpose is, or you're unaware of it. And sometimes you're afraid of pursuing something that is against your norm. So the first thing that you have to ask yourself is, what's more important to you? What value system is more important to you? Is it more important to you that you continue in your occupation or in your regular conditions and feel unfulfilled, or is it more important for you to feel fulfilled? And if it's more important for you to continue doing what you're doing, then you continue. There's nothing that should stop you or prevent you from doing what you're doing if that's what you feel satisfied in. But if there's something that is making you feel unfulfilled day after day after day, then I challenge people to investigate it. That's my role as a personal empowerment coach, is really challenging you to seek fulfillment. And that is so essential to life. And so, because at the end of the day, you want your life to feel as though it has either helped someone else and helped them fulfill their purpose, or that you in and of itself have been satisfied. When you go home to your maker, whoever your maker you believe is, you want to feel as though you've expended all the energy and investments that were placed in you. You want to know that, hey, look, I used it all up. I have nothing else to give.
And let's kind of share a little bit why it's so important to have the right connections, the right people around you. Want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. Connections are so valuable to life. You know, there's one saying that says association brings about assimilation. And when you have the wrong types of associations, they can pull you away from your purpose. But to focus on the positive associations, if you're around the right type of people, they will propel you into purpose. They'll actually see great things within you and draw out those great things. Even when you're in chaos, if you're around the people that are positive, they will draw out greatness in you. And then you'll turn around and say, wow, I didn't even think I had it in me. Well, those people drew out greatness.
I love it. I love it. So tell me, what made you decide to be a Christian motivational speaker? Where did that come about? How did you?
Well, Ebby was one of those positive influences in my life. She saw great things within me. I have the habit of talking a lot. And so, and most of what I talk about is Christian based, and it's motivational. And so,
We have a call. Go ahead.
okay. And so what happened was I ended up sharing my experiences with her and how God brought me out and through a lot of different circumstances. And so Ebony said, listen, do it. And I felt the call. See, that's the thing. You hear the call in your life. You hear it. It may sound distant, but it's there. And so
staying connected with people that's going to believe in you. That's really,
yes,
really important.
Absolutely. Because there are times when other people will believe in you when nobody else does. And so she heard the greatness that was kind of knocking around in me. But because of my circumstances, I didn't feel capable to be able to do it. And then eventually, you know, I answered the call. And I said, okay, God, I guess this is where I should be. And I just started, you know, typing out my plan, typing out different things. And eventually doors started opening. And that's the reason why I consider myself the Yes Lady. And that's one of my other titles. And that my experience has been when you say yes, doors open. And definitely, people acknowledge the gifting in you. But when you try to hold back, sometimes God has to redirect you. And so doors will start to close and you'll get very frustrated. But that's just the gifting within you, calling you to a different place.
Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, I am so excited today. We really wanted to talk about doulas in the community and what they're doing for families. We have a wonderful guest, that's going to be on the show a little bit later. Her name is Mary Powell, and she is the founder of By Myself Birth Support, so she's going to be on her way here. And so we're really, really excited about her. And we want to share a little bit more about doulas and what they do and how they help moms and families. And so we're really excited about it. So a little, you know, you're a mom. You know, maybe you can share a little bit about your experience for expecting mothers who maybe this is their first time or maybe they're interested in having a doula. You know, feel free to share your experience being having your children, and so you can encourage other ladies.
You know, being a single mom, I was a very young mom. I was a teen mom with my oldest son, and I did have emotional support. But with my daughter, I didn't have as much emotional support. I gave birth in a room by myself. I had, obviously, the medical professionals, but I didn't have the emotional support that one should have at that very, very critical point in her life. And so hearing what doulas offer is so, so very important. I mean, you know, there should be a movement that kind of offers the option for mothers to be able to have doulas. I mean, in the chaos of, of child labor and delivery, you would think that everybody is supportive at that moment, but there's a lot of frantic movement and a lot of chaos, and maybe the spouse or the husband is not right there in that moment. They're trying to deal with their own emotions and their own feelings about the labor and delivery process, and then you find yourself by yourself delivering. And that's kind of what I had to deal with my first two children, was just being in that moment but by myself, because everybody else was in their own space trying to deal with their own emotions. So
okay, so we're going to go to a commercial and we'll be right back.
Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
After all the candles are blown out, after the last toast of the night, Cambridge paving stones with Armortech stand the test of time. Beautifully designed, built to last. Only Cambridge paving stones have Armortech, our unique process that produces a rich, distinctive color. Create your own memories with Cambridge paving stones. Visit CambridgePavers.com.
Cambridge paving stones with Armortech will always look like new.
To make the donuts, Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh. I made the donuts. We make them at least twice every day. Time to make the donuts. Not a few kinds, like supermarket. Made the donuts. Time to make the donuts. But up to 52 varieties. The donuts. Time to make the donuts. I made the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, up to 52 varieties, fresh day and night. No supermarket can say.
Okay, welcome to Live Your Dreams with Ebby Nights, and I'm so excited about these wonderful ladies that are here today. So we have Dawn Oliver from Long Island Doulas, and we have Mary Powell from By My Side Birth Support, and we're going to be sharing a little bit more about doulas in the community and what we do. So Dawn, feel free to share a little bit. What is a doula?
A doula basically is a childbirth professional, non-medical. So what we do is we provide physical and emotional support for the mother. We're there to help her through her prenatal time. We do some prenatal visits. We're with her while she labors and gives birth. And then we normally go and do a postpartum visit when she gets home. We help the mother through all of her processes. We're there to talk to her about her doctor's visits, her midwife visits, if she has any questions about those visits. We provide medical-based information, evidence, if she has questions about things, such as, why am I going to be induced? Do I need to have a C-section? They're saying that my amniotic fluid is low. So we give them evidence-based information where we empower them Not that they don't have power, but we give them information that they feel empowered. They can go in and represent themselves and go ahead and find out, you know, what they want to do as far as making that decision. And then we help facilitate them through their labor and their delivery. We're there the entire time, whether that's 15 minutes, which has never been a 15-minute birth, or 15 days. Like, we are literally there for the mother throughout the entire process. And then we're also there at the end of the birth to help the mother, if she wants to breastfeed, and we all hope that they do, latch on. And we help the baby latch on to the mom and do some skin to skin and get the family dynamic going. So we're there from the very beginning until the baby latches on, and then we're able to.
Thank you. I love it.
Do our job.
And so, again, as doulas, we provide emotional, physical, and informational support. Can you share some of the physical supports that we offer?
Oh, there's so many. Just a quick review. There's massages that we do. There's pressure points that we've learned. There's hip squeezes. There's a cloth called the rebozo. Some of us have learned how to use the rebozo cloth. There's different positionings. A lot of women throughout, you know, recent medical times are laboring on their back, flat on their back. That's the most uncomfortable way you can labor. I mean, just imagine having 20 pounds on your belly and now you're laying flat. You can't breathe. Your diaphragm's, you know, not able to move. And it's just not able to get the baby into the birth canal. So we have different positions and different ways of moving you around to help get that baby in the birth canal. They maybe sit you on a birthing ball, which is basically an exercise ball. Water. Water is our friend.
That's amazing.
Water is our friend. I mean, water, how many, I think we're 96% water. So water is our friend. Laboring a mother in the shower, in the tub, you would not believe how her lotus garden opens up. You know, she's able to bring that baby down so beautifully and so smoothly and gets through birth so quickly. Some of them can't even believe it, you know. So like I said, there's so many different ways, I mean, that you can facilitate in helping a mother through labor. And it also helps decrease their pain level. Pain doesn't go away, it just decreases it, you know. It helps relieve it. It puts it in a different mindset. So instead of focusing on that next contraction, you're moving them around and doing different things with them, so they're putting that focus on something else, okay, and it's bringing other things into play, and it's able to move them through a little bit faster.
So, ladies, if I can ask you, why is support so important during labor?
Oh, okay, again, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, you can have a single mom. I work with single teens a lot myself. They may not have someone in the room with them. They might feel like they're alone. Sometimes, even if their parent, mom or dad, is with them, they still might feel alone. There might be a family dynamic that we're not aware of, that they need that emotional support. They need to be able to lean on somebody. And although the nursing staff is fabulous, I'm not taking anything away from nurses or doctors, but they also have a job to do. So there may be 5 women in that laboring area, and they can't be with everybody. So this way, you are with that person. You are that person.
The entire labor.
The entire labor. You are with that person, and they can rely on you. It doesn't even have to be a single mom or a teenage mom. It could be a mom who's scared. Every single mother that I have dealt with, and I will be having this month, I will be up to 21 births. And every mother is scared. They're scared of the pain.
And there's so many concerns that they have.
Of the unknown. It's the unknown. And we help get them through that unknown. We explain the process. We've been there. We've done that. We get it. And we understand that they're afraid. And we give them the time to tell us that they're afraid.
Exactly. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That. Yes. So I hope we have some moms expecting mothers on the watching the show today. So Mary Powell, I would love for you to share a little bit about you and what you do and your organization.
Sure. So I was the first director of the By My Side Birth Support Program. It's in Brooklyn, New York. It's part of Healthy Start Brooklyn, which is a federally funded program in the City Department of Health, New York City. And what we do is we provide doula support for low-income women living in a certain geographic area, and the area was chosen because that's where infant mortality is particularly high. So babies dying before their first birthday.
Crazy.
And so the goal of the grant is to reduce infant mortality and also to improve other birth outcomes. So to reduce preterm birth and low birth weight, because if the baby's born too soon, it's more likely to die. And of course, there are other causes as well. But the purpose of the grant is to both improve things for all mothers and babies and families, but also to reduce disparities between various racial and ethnic groups. Because unfortunately, there are, especially African American babies are more likely to die before they're a year old. Mothers are more likely to die. And so having the support of a doula can be really helpful in a lot of ways, both during the pregnancy and during the labor and birth, as you described. In the By My Side program, we provide a little additional support. So we make 3 prenatal visits to the home with the mother and hopefully whoever else will be with her, a partner or a family member or friend. And then we make 4 postpartum visits. The first one is usually the day after the birth. Just come back to check up and make sure everything's all right. If she wasn't able to breastfeed right away, is she able to do so now? Sometimes the baby is in the neonatal intensive care unit, and the doula can help facilitate, get the mom over there so she can breastfeed the baby or pump milk to feed the baby. And then the next visit will be once the mom's home. And then we do another visit at about 2 months postpartum and another one at about 6 months postpartum. Just to check up and see how things are going, to help her adjust to parenthood, even if she already has other children. There's always an adjustment when you have a new baby. And check up on the breastfeeding.
Can I ask you ladies, please share with our audience, what is a postpartum doula?
Okay. Postpartum doula is like she was explaining. You go into the mom's home and you're able to help facilitate breastfeeding. If she has other children, you help her with the other children. You're basically a mother's helper. You might tidy up a bit, Women need rest at that time. Women need to only carry that baby. So if that means that you're doing a load of laundry, maybe you run to the store. The doctor tells the mother, no driving for 6 weeks. Well, how are you supposed to get dish detergent, toilet paper? How are you supposed to get these things if you can't leave your house for 6 weeks? So we help do that. We help do anything. We're a mother's helper, anything that the mom may need. There's also different teas and tinctures that you can provide and help the mom get back to her low birth weight, the weight before she had the baby. Some women provide belly binding. We also help do things like make different type of, what's the word I'm looking for, to help you with your sutures if you've been stitched. There's something that we call, I think it's like the lollipop. And it's not really a lollipop, but what it is that you take witch hazel and you put it on a sanitary pad and you freeze it, and you freeze a few of them, and she can sit on that, and that will help heal her and soothe her if she's been stitched in her peri area. So there's just several things that the postpartum doula can do, and the main thing the postpartum doula can do, I would never want to not mention this, is look out for postpartum depression. They are very much schooled in that. That's the one thing they're tuned into. It's not only what the mother says, it's the way she acts, the way she responds to her baby, how much she's sleeping. It's her emotional state, and they can pick up on this, okay? And they're trained to deal with it and facilitate her to a medical professional.
And that's why it's so important to have that support.
It really is.
Especially right after you have a baby.
There's been so many documented cases that are in the press right now of women who have harmed themselves, harmed their babies, not waited, but have been in such depression that they've had 2 and 3 and 4 kids. And now that one lady that tried to drive her family, I think it was in Florida, into the ocean, or maybe it was North Carolina, I don't remember right now, into the ocean. There's so many cases that link back to postpartum depression. So just imagine if somebody was in the home.
That's right, having that support, having someone to care for you, nurture
you and say, are you okay?
Right.
Are you
And
really
that's
okay?
what we're getting. That's why I love being a doula, because we're getting back to nurturing women, supporting them, and basically taking that time to take care of them. We're going back to the natural, ancient ways of how we nurtured and took care of moms. Also, we have a call, so we're gonna answer that call in about a second. Real quick, Mary Powell, can you just really share some of the benefits of having a doula? Some moms may feel like I don't need a doula. I don't, I may have my family, and or I may have my partner. I don't really need it. Why do I really need a doula?
So a doula is, she doesn't have that personal relationship that you may already have with your partner or your family member. So she forms a personal relationship with you, but she doesn't have the complicating emotional factors that may be in there. And you may have a fabulous relationship with your own mother or your own partner, but when they see you in pain during labor contractions, a lot of other stuff is going on. Whereas a doula brings that professional perspective. And I always tell moms, the doula has seen a lot of different ways birth can play out. So you may have had a child before, but that's no guarantee that this labor is going to be like the previous one. Something completely different may happen, but your doula has seen, she's been trained, even if she hasn't attended a lot of births, she's learned about it. But if she's more experienced, she's seen this happen, and that happen, and that happen, and that happen. It's also, a doula is really helpful in translating the medical environment, because the doctor can come in and say, and then go out. And you're sitting there going, okay. What did he say? But the doula can tell you, okay, so this is what she was talking about, and this is, and the doula can say, okay, is that what you want? Do you want some time to think about it? Because a lot of times there's pressure in the hospital to decide right now. But usually it's not an emergency. Usually you can take a moment, little time.
Think about it.
And if somebody asks the physician, can she have a little time to think about it? Then the doctor will say, oh, yes, sure. But the doula can also help recognize when something is an emergency. And can say, you really need to do this now. My husband and I, my oldest is 21 years old, and we had attended childbirth classes, and I had read up a lot of things, and I had heard of a doula, but I couldn't remember what it was called. And this was a while ago, so I was asking, and nobody could really tell me. And but it would have been really helpful to have a doula, because my baby was posterior, so he was coming out face up, which is not the way babies are supposed to come out. They're supposed to rotate and be face down. And I was flat on my back. And one thing I learned later is that compresses your blood vessels, so less oxygen gets to the baby. So they were worried about the oxygen. They put the oxygen mask on. My husband's saying, come on, push. And I had an epidural, so I wasn't pushing very well. But I did get him out. And later, I said to my husband, I was thinking, maybe I should have been a little more vertical. Maybe that would have helped. He said, I was thinking that too, but I didn't want to say anything. If we had had a doula, she would have said something. And we could have said no, but she could have said, hey, do you want to try this? Yeah, and it's just another perspective, somebody who's not caught up in the moment, who can help you remember what you wanted when you went in.
And also, we're able to share with moms. Some moms feel that having a doula, in order to have a doula, you have to have a home birth. And that's not really the case. So we work, as doulas, we can work with you whether you're at the hospital, whether you're at a birthing center, or a home birth. So we have a call. So we're going to get ready to answer that call. And let's see who this is. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who do we have on the line?
This is Amadoma.
Hello, Ama.
Hi, Amadoma.
Oh, this is amazing, 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 amazing. I have my instructor on the line.
Oh.
Okay, so this woman is amazing. She has so many years of experience. And I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and, about being a doula and the importance of having a doula for attending a mom's birth.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost the last word. I heard you say moms, and then I didn't hear the
I
last
would love
word.
for you to share a little bit about yourself and, why you believe is the importance of having a doula?
Okay, well, my name is Amadoma Bediako, and I've been doing this work for quite a few years. I started in January of 1979. I attended a birth of a good friend of mine, and since then, I've been helping other women. She would tell her sisters and her cousins and her friends who were having babies about me, and I would go to their birth. And some years later, I went to a conference that the Open Center had in Manhattan. It was the Art of Birthing. And I heard women there talking about doula work, and I said, oh, that's what I do. And I inquired further, and at another Art of Birthing conference, I met someone, Shafia Monroe from ICTC, and I was able to certify with her. And then later I found out about the health department program, the By My Side birth support program, and got involved with that with Mary Powell. And I'm also a childbirth educator.
Yes.
And since I started working with the By My Side birth support doulas, I was able to find out that they had an afternoon class, and some of the women who were in school or working were asking about an evening class, so I was able to start teaching an evening class.
Awesome. And I'm hearing that it's full and everyone loves your class because you are amazing.
Thank you.
And also, Amadoma as well, we both teach Dancing Through Pregnancy classes. I teach on Tuesdays. And could you share the days that you teach the classes? And
I teach a Wednesday evening class.
Okay. And do you want to share where that class is located?
Well, currently we're having the class at the Van Dyke Community Center, and that's located at 392 Blake Avenue in Brooklyn.
Okay. Okay, amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And also, would you like to share a little bit of, if there's, I know there's other work that you do in the community as far as empowering women, and how can women also, or how can families get in contact with you? Do you have a website, or is there any way that they can reach out to you?
Well, they can email me at betterbirth, B-E-T-T-E-R, birth, B-I-R-T-H, 5252 at gmail.com.
So that's betterbirth52 at gmail.com?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
And I don't know if it was mentioned earlier. As I told you, I have house guests, and I didn't tune into the program earlier. At 9:30, a message came to me. Oh, I gotta call Ebony. The childbirth classes, the doula services for some neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and the Dancing Through Pregnancy classes are all free.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
and there's also a postpartum fitness class that my daughter teaches for women who want to get back in shape after they've had their babies. They don't have to wait several months. A lot of times they can begin to exercise, and she shows them ways that they can exercise along with the baby, so that they can bring the baby to the class, and she gives them exercises that they can do postpartum.
So with her postpartum class, you can also bring your babies to class, correct? Do you want to share where that class is located?
Well, I don't have the address, but I know the East New York Farm on Skank Street.
Okay.
There's a community building on the corner there at New Lots and Skank.
Okay, and that's
her
in
class
Brooklyn.
is 11 o'clock on Saturday mornings.
I can give you the phone number.
Okay, and we'll get the phone number
for everything.
For everything. Okay, great.
I'm hoping that if anyone is interested and they see your program, they'll reach out to you, and then you can always, forward it to me or contact me and let me know.
Definitely. Definitely. I thank you, Alma, so much. I so appreciate you. You are amazing. This is the best instructor ever. So again, I thank you so much for calling in and sharing this information. So anyone is interested in contacting Amadoma, learning more about her, can also contact me. She provided her information as well, and we'll give you more information towards the end of the show. So thank you so much.
Okay, keep up the good work, Ebony.
Thank you so much, Alma. I appreciate you. All right, thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Take care.
Okay, you too. So awesome. So we actually have another call. We're going to check this call out and see what this is. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, greetings.
Hi, yes, greetings. I wanted to call in for the doula call today.
Yes.
Hi. Hello?
Oh, can you turn the speaker down a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to call in for Sister Ebony for the doulas.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine.
And what's your name?
My name is Letitia.
Hi, Letitia. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you for calling.
Oh, Ebony, I didn't even recognize your voice. Okay, let me turn off the TV because I have it on the other. Hold on.
Oh, this is awesome. This is one of my first moms. I'm so. Geez,
Yeah,
I didn't know she was gonna call.
I was calling because I wanted to say that Ebony was my doula during my pregnancy, and it was such an amazing experience. It was my first pregnancy, and especially with your first pregnancy, you're always scared. You don't know what to expect.
Absolutely.
And we went to a couple of classes at St. Luke's with my husband, and I still didn't know what to expect. I was reading up on books. I took classes. I was interviewing people. I'm a nurse also myself. So I reflected upon my time during OBGYN, the classes, and also the when I went in, and I was so scared. And I remember when she came in, I was like, thank God she's here. And my husband did such a great job comforting me, but it's something different. It's when a woman is near you, and she's gone through the same experience as you, and she can just give you that power and that energy to help you get through any obstacle. And it was such an empowering and powerful experience that I had such a good birth. It was my first birth.
I'm so happy, but yay! And she's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, if you guys seen her, she's adorable. Wow, thank you so much. I didn't even know you was going to call in.
Yeah, I decided to call in because it's such a good job, because a lot of people in a lot of neighborhoods and a lot of different cultures, they don't know about the doulas. And they don't know that it's such a rewarding experience, especially to have a woman, if it is a woman, to help you and help nurture you and comfort you, and just wiping your forehead and giving you those positive reinforcements, and just, helping you and, rubbing your back and helping you get through the pain and saying, it's going to be okay. I'm here with you. And a lot of times with the medical staff, and I can attest to it to myself because I'm also a nurse, that we don't have time to do that because you're so busy giving medications, you're so busy documenting, you're so busy trying to get the IV up, starting the IV, getting the orders from the doctors, that you don't have time to actually sit there and help the patient, get through it, especially if it's their first birth and they don't know what to expect,
Right. That is so true. That is so true. Letitia, oh my goodness, you're awesome. It's so good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
So again,
you do good work.
Thank you. You're doing amazing work too, as a nurse, a mother. So I thank you so much for sharing that information. Thank you so much for sharing with our audience and calling in. I look forward to seeing you all soon.
You too.
So thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Okay, so anyway, I always love all my moms. So we're going to get ready to go to commercial break. And so thank you so much for joining us. Come right back.
1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an intimate partner each year. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the majority of cases aren't reported to the police. Most people who are in an abusive relationship don't even know they're in one. The truth is, all abusive relationships boil down to one thing: control.
How do you like it? My new dress.
Are you out of your mind? You look like a prostitute. We're not going out with you dressed up like that in public.
But what am I supposed to wear?
Wear something decent. You can't wear that out in public. We're going to be late. Get back in there and pick a different outfit. I'm going to go run some errands. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Please be ready, okay?
Fine, I'll change. Fine.
Abuse is not always physical, leaving wounds that are visible on the outside. Emotional abuse is just as painful, only these wounds are hidden on the inside.
Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. You look like a prostitute.
Know that abuse is abuse, no matter what the form.
Look at me.
Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Physical abuse scars the body,
I just wanted to love me.
but mental abuse scars the mind.
What you just saw was an example of a relationship that is emotionally abusive. Nobody has the right to tell you how to dress or how to act. If someone really cares for you, they won't tear you down. They will build you up.
How do you like it?
Wow. You look great. Fantastic. But then again, you look great all the time.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd like it. It's my new dress. I bought it just so we could go out tonight.
You look stunning.
Thank you. But I think I'm going to take a sweater just in case it gets cold tonight.
Great idea. I'm going to take one too. Let's go.
All relationships are not perfect, but a healthy relationship is when two people bring out the best in each other and have each other's good in mind. Take your time to know someone instead of rushing into something. It is better not to involve yourself with an abusive person than to try and get out of a domestic violence situation.
If someone is abusive to you and you need help, please call the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. They have highly trained experts available 24/7 who will speak with you confidentially and offer information regarding the unhealthy aspects of your relationship, resources, or immediate support for victims to find safety and live lives free of abuse. Domestic violence affects us all.
It affects us all.
It affects us all.
모두에게 영향을 줍니다.
Che ci ricarte tutte.
It affects us all.
Domestic violence.
Hi, and welcome back to Live Your Dreams with Ebby Knights. So I do want to mention the dads. It's so very, very important to have the fathers there and supporting their women. I've worked with moms, and I would say probably about 70% of my moms have shared that they're doing this alone. And I want to, let's talk a little bit about how important it is for dads to be there to support their women. And, let's give some tips for dads. And I really want to commend the dads that are there and are supporting their women and helping them and holding their hands and supporting them and encouraging them. Like Letitia, her husband was doing all that. He was just amazing. And just to see that, it makes such a difference because you both did this together, So to have a mom have to, have one of the most, transforming experience of her life and not have the father there with her can really be very discouraging and heartbreaking. So it's so important that the men really support and really begin to start encouraging their women. And it's really, really important. I would love for the ladies, if you want to share a little bit about that. And again, I want to commend the men who have really been there for their women, because when you're there for your partner, you're empowering her. When you empower her, she empowers you. I mean, and then together you're building this relationship and building up your baby, your family. I mean, it's so important that we really begin to nurture our families, nurture our children as a whole, as a family, as a community. So, ladies, can you share a little bit about the importance of having men, present and there, and what you've experienced of, being a doula?
Well, for me, when I do my prenatals, I ask that the dad's there too. Because when dealing with the family, okay, if the dad wants to be involved, which is a beautiful thing, he should be included in every conversation, every discussion. So everything that we go over, I make it an event that both of them can enjoy. I make a printout that shows different laboring positions, but it's the mother and the father doing it. It's the doula's not involved. And I want to show him that I'm going to be in the picture, but this picture is about you two.
Right, exactly.
And here is to prove that. I'm going to be there doing something else, but here's what you can do.
Right.
So that way he understands and he can see for himself, oh, I get it now. I can do this or I can do that. Because, you know, guys, they've never had a baby and they don't understand either. Maybe they've been through it before, maybe they haven't. But when you give them something visual that they can work from, I find that it makes them more comfortable, you know?
And I also believe it's really important that the medical team really includes dads. I've had dads feel like, you know, at times that they feel like they're excluded and they're kind of out, and it's a unit, you know. And
Absolutely.
when we have dads that are there for their their partners to really support that, encourage that, and so it's just really, really important. So anyone else would like to share the importance of having a dad or the partner around and how it kind of affects the woman by him not being there?
Absolutely. I believe that the father, the purpose of not just him being in the room, being there, but just in terms of it being the start of life and the start of that child being a part of that family unit. And so, you know, to not have that very essential person in that room, it can be traumatic for the mothers. It can be traumatic. I mean, speaking from my personal experience, it was very traumatic. And for me to be such a young mother and not have that person to hold my hand and rub my back and tell me it would be okay. I mean, I did have female nurses in the room who were supportive, but their role was very limited in their emotional support because, like the caller had stated earlier, they're busy. They're making sure that I'm okay and that my baby is okay. And at that point, I didn't have an epidural. I did not receive an epidural at all, so it was a fully natural birth, and I didn't want it to be natural. But my daughter didn't give me much of a choice. And 10 years later, I do kind of remind her in a way. But, I mean, I remember that young girl, me, you know, sitting up and crying tears onto my child's blanket, her receiving blanket. And had I had that support, it would have made a much better difference in terms of my memories of that birth. It wasn't that I was sad that she had been born, but I just felt really sad that I had to begin her life in that emotional state. And I did suffer from postpartum depression very severely, where I lost 30 pounds within 6 weeks. My hair began to fall out. I lost weight. My milk supply dried up. And so having the emotional support is key to those beginning stages of the child's life.
And that's why I love being a doula, because really our mission is to help moms have a positive birth experience. As many of you know, I work with seniors also, and I have a senior citizen, she's 86, and can tell you today how her birth experience was. She could remember the day, where she was at, how it, you know, and it's funny because you remember it for years.
Yes, she
And it's so important that we, you know, we come to collectively, the partners and you know, the doulas and family, you know, that we come together to nurture and support this mom who's carrying life. So anyone else would like to share about that?
I just wanted to say that it's easy sometimes to think, oh, well, you know, the partner's not with the mom and so she needs a doula. But even if the partner's there, it's still really important to have a doula because the roles are so different. And a good doula, as Dawn explained, will support the father to support the mother. And she's not, sometimes people think, oh, well, she's going to replace me. And that's not the way it's going to, you know, the way it's supposed to be. The doula's there to enlarge the circle of support. She's there to support him, to support her, or whoever else is with you. And then also, you know, often the typical man may be stronger than the typical doula.
Right.
And so he can do stronger
Right.
exercises and better massages.
Exactly.
So the doula can show him what to do, and then, you know, he can
just
do
take
it.
charge and do what he has to do, which is awesome. And we want to share, because we want to let moms know who I've worked with moms, moms who've had 4 and 5 children. And sometimes you may think, oh, I don't need a doula because this person has 4 or 5 children. No, not necessarily. I've had moms who had 4 or 5 children and a husband, and felt like, you know what, thank you, I needed that support. Some family members, some moms may have family that's out of the country, don't live near them, or may not have them, near or very supportive, and that doula can come in. I've even had moms say it was like having a sister in the room, and I just thank you so much. So it could be your first baby to your 10th baby. If you want to have a doula, you deserve to have a doula. I remember when you was interviewed, and was it? I forgot. It was the news, but you was interviewed, and the lady asked you about having a doula. Isn't it like a luxury? So why would we offer why would you offer a luxury service to low income women? I couldn't believe she said that. But tell me what you think about that.
Oh, I think people just don't understand.
Right.
I mean, because doulas, as you say, it's not covered by insurance usually, and so it's something you can have if you can afford it, and so it's something that sort of middle and upper income people get to have, and other people don't, and every woman should have a doula if she wants one.
Exactly.
And you have a little campaign around that, right?
Oh yes, yes. As a matter of fact, yes, I do. I have a GoFundMe page, and I'm looking to really raise funds to help women of low-income communities who are looking to have doulas but really cannot afford it. And it's just so important to me. I've worked with moms who actually are living in shelters and have to go right back to the shelter after they have their babies. I've worked with moms who are single moms, don't have any support, doesn't have the father there, yes, and still have to go back to the shelters, or really do not have that support and don't have the finances for these services. And exactly, like we were saying, the lady said it's a luxury, consider luxury. Well, we all deserve it. We're bringing life into this world. And so I do have a GoFundMe page. If you would like to, donate, you're more than welcome to. You can go to my Facebook page at Ebby Nights. And if you would like to donate, that would be absolutely wonderful. With the donations, I want to be able to give gifts to my moms. I love giving gifts to them. So, that will also contribute, even if it's $1, if it's $5, whatever you can give. Let's come together and really support women, because women are really the center of the family, and they're empowering their husbands, they're empowering their children, they're empowering the community, and it's really important that we really come together and start making sure that moms are nurtured. And so I'm really excited about it, and I'm so grateful that you ladies have decided to be on the show today. And it's like you said, saying yes to the call. Sometimes you just have to just say yes. And ladies, when we say yes to what it is that we're called to do, more opportunities show up. So we thank you so much for really joining us. I hope that you were able to learn some things and really learned a little bit more about doulas and what they offer. And if you'd like to get more information about me, you can go to powerfulpioneers.org. So that's powerfulpioneers.org, and our mission really is to empower women, seniors, and children by offering various workshops such as health education, vegetarian cooking classes, dance classes, we've even done play productions, as well as women empowerment and youth empowerment workshops. So again, we're so excited about this. I'm so excited that you decided to be here today and to really bring about awareness to the doula services and the community. So I thank you so much again. Again, that website is powerfulpioneers.org, and you can, if you like to email me, you can email me at powerfulpioneers@gmail.com. Again, that's powerfulpioneers@gmail.com if you'd like to get more information. And so we're going to get ready to close up soon. And so again, I'm so grateful that we had these ladies here. And so thank you. Thank you so much.